Good morning. A warm welcome to you. Together, we would like to take a look today with the next video regarding SAP Datasphere. And there we will take a look to the section Data Builder. And especially within this guide, I will show you all functions regarding tables, creating them, changing them, define a key, or also import remote tables from different sources, from HANA databases or from an ERP system. All those things will be covered within this video. Remember, in one of our last sessions or videos, I created a trial account for the SAP Datasphere at the SAP site. I got a user with a password, and we also took a look to some functions here. But together we would like to focus today especially on the section Data Builder. The Data Builder is the part where you can integrate your data. That means you define tables, you define target tables where you can store the data in the SAP Datasphere. And this is a central source for all those other topics like Business Builder, or for intelligent lookups, or for graphical views. All these things will be done on the basis of tables. If we step in here, we see a lot of tables already. From my former video, I prepared some things already, but we will start from scratch regarding the section new table. And we will focus on tables today only. In my further videos, I will go through all those elements within the data builder that you have here in deep look into the data builder functionalities of the SAP Datasphere. Okay, let's start. To get more focus in this big list or huge list, which it could be, believe me, you can use the filterings on the top. Here we see that we marked all files. That means everything is listed here, what is within this data builder section for this space tutorial. But if we click on tables only, and the system will filter to the local tables only. That means the system, that means the SAP Datasphere, gives us a list of the local tables. Those local tables are existing within the SAP Datasphere and belonging to this space only. That means this is only visible within this space. Let's stay in the filtering here, then we have a better overview regarding the tables now. Okay, let's start. To create a table, it is very easy. You need to click on this icon. You can use the filtering here as we saw it, or you can also use the all files where you can click on the new tables. By doing it, you can go through a lot of different sections here from top to down. Then you have everything what you need. At first, let's create a table with the semantic usage of rational dataset. But we have also further data sets or semantic data sets which we can create. At first, let's go through the semantic usage here. The fact table is an essential object for building up a star schema, like in the new or in the BW systems or business intelligence system where you build up a star schema. That means the central table is a fact table, and around the fact table you have a lot of dimensions. That means this is a fact table where you store the information regarding sales, regarding quantities, regarding also could be COPA data, and with a specific key or specific keys. That means the customer, a sales document, or a COPA document, or a vendor, or a sales organization, or in a combination of those, but only with a key. The dimension is then a particular master data table. Could be some attributes for a sales organization, or for a customer, or for material. That means you have a key column, which is the material, and then additional attributes for a material. And yes, of course, you can also have texts for a material, for example, or for a customer, or for a vendor, or for a sales organization. If we use the object sales organization, you can assume that you can also have hierarchies. That means sales organization with the company can be organized as a hierarchy. That means you have on top the top node the company name, and then below you could have regions or areas, and within these areas you have different sales organizations. Therefore, we will use the object hierarchy. Nearly the same for that objects. The rational data set is a flat table where you can define the key columns, to store data. And the analytical data set is a depreciated ones, which was introduced within the version 1 for the SAP Data Warehouse Cloud. But this is now depreciated, because it was replaced by those semantic table data sets. But we will focus on the main ones today. At first, we would like to create a rational data set, really a flat table. We give it a name, rational table. You can also define the technical name. This is automatically created based on the business name and separate by an underscore. I define the business name first, and then the technical name is defined automatically. What you can set is here delta capture. That means you can define if the table catches delta records or not. If you switch it on, then the table gets automatically two objects or two columns, the change type and the change date. This is essential to define the delta records and identify them. But let's focus on the normal table first. Let's use our example to create a material table or a table where we would like to store some data out of a system with a customer as a key, customer key. Let's use it as it is. Then we have in the second column, which is material. We can delete it and name it as. You see that you can also can redefine technical information. And we would like to have also the sales organization inside. Sales organization, and this is also the key. And we have sales values, and of course we have sales quantities or sales quantity, sales value and sales quantity. Here we use the decimal. It's enough, 5, and scale is 2. The same for sales quantity. And what we need to do now, you see that we do not have a key definition for this table. What we need to do now is to define the key. That means for one sales organization, for one material and one customer, we have only one sales value and sales quantity. If you have records with multiple information for the same key, you cannot define a key. You need to use this without a key and aggregate it then afterwards. And now we have the table structure defined. In the next section, we can define associations. That means if we have a specific table, we can do associations. That means if we have a customer, material, or sales organization table, we can, as a master data table, we can assign it here or associate it here. But we will take a look to that afterwards. What we can also do is we can define a business purpose. That means no data records for sales. We can give it a purpose. We can give it a contact person, a team, or also some text, which can be found in the search function as well. We can also define if this is should be in memory storage always or leave it as it is. That means the system decides by its own. And here we see if we have dependent objects already in place for that table. But we haven't because we haven't created. With this button, we save it. We get a new prompt. Maybe we can define or redefine the name, but we defined it already. By clicking save, the table will be persisted in the database. But we see here that the status is not deployed. That means this is not really accessible for other functionalities. With the deployment button here, we can deploy it and make it persistent and usable for all other views and scenarios. We will be prompted if this is generated. Now we got the prompt and we see here that it's deployed. Let's went through the buttons here as for a short time. Here we see that we can save and save as the table. That means we can do nearly a copy of the query of the local table. We can redeploy it. We can share this table with other spaces. That means if we defined one table, we can share it with other spaces where we can use this table and content also. We can do a data preview. We can undo, or we can also redo. We can export this table to a JSON file or CSN or JSON file to reuse this for later import as well. We can upload data from a CSV file into that table with this button here. This is a hierarchy button, which can be used then for within a dimension table. We will see it afterwards. We can of course delete the data. We can edit the CSN. That means here this is the structure and the definition of this table. And of course, we can see where the table is used. But normally, due to the fact that we created it new, it is really not used. Okay, let's went back. You see now the table is created and available here within our screen. Okay, now we saw how we can create a relational table. And in the next few minutes, I would like to show you how you can import tables from a connection. Please remember, within the connection screen or connection area here on the left side, we can check what connections do we have for this specific space. That means we have a Google BigQuery connection. We have an SAP Data system on-prem, an BW4 system, which is an ABAP system, and of course we have an S4 system. Let's went back to the data builder. To get a remote table, yeah, you can use this button here for import and search for remote tables. By clicking it, you will be prompted by all the possible connection types. At first, let's use the S4HANA environment and system. You have to choose one. In the next screen, you get the possibility regarding the selection, what types you would like to select. Let's use extractors. Under extractors, you will find all the possible views or tables out of the S4HANA system. On our one hand side, we have the ABAP CDS views, which are created in the S4HANA system. But of course, you can also use other tables which are related to BW or SAPI. But let's use the ABAP CDS views. Now the system reads all the hierarchies regarding the table names. You can have some tables which begins with a backslash, or we can have A, C, F, and all the other things. Let's use Z. And here we find, for example, cost center, master data texts, or master data attributes for cost centers. And now it's really, really easy. You only need to select those you would like to replicate into the SAP Datasphere. That means with this selection and the click on next step, you will be prompted what should be the technical name of this object, how the business name should be, and you see the status, the location here and the status. Okay, let's import and deploy those tables. Now the system reads the definition out of the S4HANA system regarding those tables. That means the structure, the types of the fields or columns. And after that, the system creates a remote table. Remote table means, if we sort it in that way, and it's automatically deployed. The remote table means that the structure is generated like within the source system. These are the column names out of the source system and also the data type. What we can do now here is we can also do a preview. A data preview. And this preview is generated directly out of the S4HANA system. That means the system, the data sphere, here we will be prompted. Please notice you will directly access the S4HANA system by viewing this data sets. By approving this, then the system collects the data directly out of the S/4HANA system. You see, we have a controlling area cost center, and the data is provided then via live connection. What is missing here is the import button. Yeah, remember, for a normal table, we can import data out of CSV. This is not possible here because this is a remote table and provides live data access. The same for the master data attributes. It's also a remote table and has some other columns also with types. This was a connection for S/4HANA. Let's use, for example, another one. Import remote tables. Let's use the SAP BW system on-prem. By choosing it, clicking next, you see it's slightly different here. To get the data out, for example, out of a SAP Data Store object, you need to choose the ABAP table section, and therefore you need to know how the structure or the table names are structured in that way. It begins with a slash, followed by BIC. This indicates the customer namespace, followed by a slash. And then we can also use one of those areas here, for example, A and AZ. That checks what's in there. Here we have the structure of this advanced DSO. That means an inbound table, an active table, change table, and also some generated views. But let's use the active table. By clicking next, the same procedure like in the other area. Oh, it's already in the repository. Let's go back and choose another one. This is a Z. Let's use a ZA. We have some more advanced DSO. Let's use this one. Active table stores the active and live tables, live data records for one advanced DSO. You see, now we will be able to import it because it's not existing in our repository or in our space as a remote table. The same procedure like for the S/4HANA environment. You see the location and the import was successful, but the deployment is pending, but will be also finished in some few seconds. If we went in here, we see that the deployment is running. Now it's deployed, and here we see the structure of this advanced DSO. And of course, due to the fact that we have a remote table, we can also preview the data, and the import button does not appear. Let's check if we have some data available. Okay, in this advanced DSO, we do not have any data. But you see that the process is nearly the same like for the S/4HANA system. And with this, you can import and import remote tables based on every connection which is allowing it. And then you can work further with those remote tables. But please be aware that you cannot integrate data into remote tables. This is only relevant for live data access. Okay. Okay. Now we have remote tables imported into our section here. Remember, as I created the local table via this screen, I showed also that we have the possibility to export to CSN or JSON in JSON file. This definition of a table. Let's do this, and I will show you what you can do with it. Now the export is completed, and this is the definition of this table as in CSN format within a JSON file. Here you see the technical name, some descriptions. Let's change this CSN a little bit, that we have another one available. At first, we need to redefine the technical name. This is the technical name here within the JSON file. Let's rename also the label, table 2, and also in this area, rational data records from sales, table 2. This is the structure. Here we have all those columns with the definition and also the information if this is a key column. Let's add one column. What you can do is by copying this area here to another section here, then you, yes, of course, rename the column to a new one. Yeah, that means now we will get, if we import it, a second sales quantity with a technical name of sales and quantity analysis 2 and the label of sales quantity 2. Let's save this one. Go back to the data builder area, and now let's import this object or this file by selecting it and click on import. Now we have here the information regarding the business name, what we redefined, and also the technical name. The local table is the semantic usage, and it's ready for import. Let's import. Now the system reads the JSON file and imports this definition, and after a few seconds we see here the table is imported but not deployed. We can go in there and check what we have. Here we have our additional column which we identified. What we need to do is we need to deploy it. Once the process is completed, we will be prompted and we will see the status then here. Okay, it's deployed and successfully changed. Please have in mind, now we had the possibility with the CSN to add a new column. Let's assume we would like to change an existing one. That means we would like to change this relational table too by adding another sales value column. But to do this, you can copy this part, add it here, and name it sales value 2, for example, sales value 2 with the same definition. And we will then also save it. Then go back. Here we see that the relation table 2 is existing and deployed, and we can import the the CSN again by choosing the JSON file. You see here you will be informed that the table is already in repository, but with this import, the system recognized, okay, there's something which needs to be changed. Yeah, changes needs to be deployed. Let's go in there. You see that, oh, we see now the system recognized automatically the sequence and also recognize that there needs to be something to deploy. Let's deploy it. process is running, and after finishing that, we can reuse this table with the additional column. It means you have two possibilities to change a table, either to click add here to add more columns, change columns, or you can also do it with the CSN structure within the JSON file, which can be downloaded here and uploaded again in the area of the data builder. Okay, the last part of this section of creating a table is to import CSV files. With this, you can use an existing CSV file as a source for a local table creation within SAP Datasphere. To do this, I prepared two Excel files. Okay, you need to select here via the import CSV file. You will be prompted and you need to select a source file. I prepared already two. One is the customer names, that means the text of customer, and the customer itself with attributes. Let's use at first customers. Here you can leave it as it is. If you have the first row as an indicator what column it is. Otherwise, you need to deselect it. CSV delimiter, you can choose auto detect. That means the system checks automatically which delimiter it could be, or you need to select one of those, or you need to create other, and you do need to find it. After selecting this, you can click upload. Then the system loads the data, loads the CSV file into the system, reads the data, and give you some contents here. Of course, what you can do is you can also create transformations. That means you can, for example, split the city into, especially for those here, split the name here into postal code and the city. Or you can also replace, you can do filterings, or you can also concatenate fields. But for this, we leave it as it is. It's fine. We have a customer, the street, city, and country, and I would like to deploy it. We will be prompted, okay, CSV customer is my business name, and the technical name will be then automatically adjusted. Now the system saves the structure and also deploy the table for further usage. See, now it is deployed. Let's use another one. You can again choose import, select. Now I would like to also import the customer names. You have the customer key, language, and also the customer name. And let's deploy it. Let's also use the business name. With this, now we have two local tables. But remember, now we have texts and attributes. And within the section of semantic usage, we are able to select which type it is. And we need to define also a key. Let's use this both as a key. We have on one hand side the language and the customer. And this is the customer name. That means these are texts for a specific customer. Okay. Semantic type, this is the text one. This is the language. After defining it, the system knows for that table that this is a specific language column, which identifies which column it is, and this is then the name for this customer. Now with this, we have a table with the names inside of a customer, and this is then identified by two keys, on the one hand side, the customer and the language. Let's see, what data do we have? Looks okay. Let's close it and went to the other, the master data table. We need to identify this as a key. And now use this as a dimension. Dimension means a customer dimension with attributes. And deploy it. Now we have one dimension, which is the customer one. And we have a text. Let's wait until this is deployed. Done. Please remember this section, associations. With this, we can identify for one specific table some associations. For example, text associations. That means for this text, okay, this is looks like, let's reload it. Seems to be in a wrong pop-up. That's the right pop-up. With this text association, we can choose this table which identifies the customer with names. By using it, here we see that we get a new screen, which then gives us some information here, and also the mapping. That means our dimension customer is also associated now with the customer names by using this key. Okay, let's deploy this. And with this, we have a text association done from customer to their customer names. And here we can see the dimension, and we know that we associated this with the text. Now we have one dimension of customers for further usage. The same can be done for materials, for example, sales organizations or other objects which are master data. To reuse this then, for example, in a business builder or within views. Okay, thank you for watching and stay tuned. Have a great day. Bye.